The curse has finally been lifted.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Hello, mate. How's it going? Hello, welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that, my friend. Welcome back to Chelsea News. Of course, the twice, perhaps thrice, series here daily on the channel. Can't speak English. Where we reflect on what's being said about Chelsea. I give you my opinion on it, but more importantly, ask for yours. Plettenberg upgrades on Chalobah. Arsenal willing to sell Emile Smith-Rowe to Chelsea. Chelsea have 10 players. 10 players on their shortlist. We spoke about 3 of them yesterday that are indeed on said shortlist. But the shortlist is a long list. 10 players is not, for me, 10 players is not a shortlist. It's a long list. And finally, Lukaku is in Rome. The deal has been agreed. I did say yesterday, early doors, that Lukaku was gone today, and later on, all the news stories break out afterwards. So sometimes I'm right. Matt Law's given us an update on that. So strap yourselves in, lots to get into. Stick around to the end, for there is lots of juicy content to enjoy together. Yeah. What, mate? Quick housekeeping, follow me on social media at FootballYannick on Instagram, at football.yannick on TikTok, and my sister channel Football Yannick, which of course I spoke about the Rubiales story yesterday. Absolutely incredible, sensational really, and all sorts of content on there you might dig. That's just called Football Yannick as well, so nice and easy. Let's go. Right, Florian Plettenberg, Sky correspondent, German chap, bowl accounts. He writes on Twitter, Thomas Tuchel was in contact with Trevoh Chalobah today. This is yesterday. Bayern are pushing for a loan with an option to buy, but Chelsea want a permanent deal. I think, personally, Chelsea would probably take either. Now, I mean, they're going to push for a permanent deal. They probably think, Bayern Munich, you're a big boy club. You got money. Heck, you just spent 100 milli. What's going on with my hair? On big Harry Kane.
Yeah, obviously, guten Tag, and yes, ich bin very happy with the Galaxy squad already. And of course, yeah, next week we've got Borussia Mönchengladbach, and
like he'd say it like that. No disrespect to Harold Kane. He is the England captain, and I love him. I love him even more for not going to Manchester United. I digress. What am I saying? Yes, Bayern Munich, they've got money. I think they can buy him permanently. I don't want to see him go. To be honest, I'm relatively indifferent. I think he's a good player. But, you know, what I was going to say is he could also go for a loan because of Bashir Humphreys, the young centre-back that Pochettino has played in pre-season. And rather interestingly, he hasn't gone anywhere yet. And people are speculating, why has this kid not gone anywhere? Probably because Chelsea knew of the interest of Trevoh Chalobah. And they're probably thinking, Bashir Humphreys is on very low wages. He's very low maintenance. He won't demand minutes like Trevoh. He won't get paid as much as Trevoh. And the gaffer, Pochettino, really likes Bashir. Let's sell Trevoh Chalobah and keep Bashir Humphreys. Makes sense to me, baby girl. So yeah, I'm down. Love Trevoh Chalobah, happy for him to stay. Of course, he's that kind of like auxiliary right centre-back, can play right back in a pinch. Tuchel does know he can play CDM as well, but Tuchel didn't like him as a CDM because he saw him as a transitional stopper rather than when you've got the ball loads playing as a CDM, which of course Thomas Tuchel's teams are big teams. They want to keep the ball and dominate. So, let me know what you think. Trevoh Chalobah to Bayern Munich. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to use Cy Phillips for a couple of stories on his Chelsea-News website. And then we're going to jump over to Matt Law and give you details on the Romelu Lukaku situation. By the way, there's a buyout clause in a contract alteration from Chelsea, which is incredibly interesting. So we look forward to talking about that in just a moment. All right, Cy Phillips writes about Emile Smith-Rowe. Arsenal are reportedly willing to sell one of their players this week before the transfer window closes. Chelsea have made an approach for him. Chelsea and Arsenal have done fairly regular business in recent times, with Kai Havertz, of course, being the most recent transaction this summer. Chelsea could be turning to Arsenal for one of their players this week as the transfer window closes Friday evening. According to The Times, Arsenal are willing to sell midfielder Emile Smith-Rowe after an approach for Chelsea this window. The youngster has been left frustrated that he's not played a single minute in Arsenal's 3 opening games so far this season. He's in the Marc Cucurella category. The report also says that Smith Rowe has been offered to other unnamed Premier League clubs. As of now, Arsenal have not put a valuation on Smith Rowe, but he is among the players that could be sold this week. Well, you know what's the trend? You know what is trendy right now? Pure profit. We know all about it. Emile Smith Rowe is a Hale End. I believe that's the Arsenal Academy product. So for them, he will represent pure profit on the books. And they have spent a lot, Arsenal, lest we forget. You know, even just on Declan Rice and Kai Havertz alone, it's over £170 million. So, and they've bought other players as well. So they will. This will represent an opportunity for them. Look, man. Emile Smith Rowe, they haven't played him at all. He's not on the plans. Probably not necessarily because they think he's a bad player, but maybe they just think he doesn't fit the plan. And if you don't fit the plan, don't waste time on it. You know, and maybe he fits our plan. I am playing devil's advocate here because many of you will rightly have a reflex towards this going, Arsenal reject. I don't want that. And fine, I dig it, to be honest. I kind of, you know, he was playing well at one point. He is a talented young player. Like I said, there is an upside here if he's not that expensive and he does well. And then we can go, Arsenal, we gave you David Luiz and, you know, potentially and misfiring Kai Havertz. And, you know, you paid significant money to us. And now, and, you know, even Jorginho. Actually, Jorginho went for, what, 25 million? Jorginho had 6 months left on his deal, by the way. So we got good money for him. So they don't really care. He's still a good closer for them off the bench. And Jorginho gets some good retirement money. Emile Smith Rowe, look, he is very much an inside forward number 10. He kind of, in theory, in practice, he does suit the profile of Pochettino massively. It's just, do you think he's got the quality to be, you know, that you want? If he comes and does really well, it'll be really funny, you know, and that's good enough for me, especially if he doesn't cost that much money. Like, if we sign him for, the thing is, I don't even know what is, you know, it's good value in this market anymore. When Brennan Johnson cost 50 million quid, like, I just have no idea, but he's a wanted asset. Let's say 30 million pounds. I mean, it sounds mental to me. 30 million quid for a player that's not even fancied. Well, Balogun was 50 million. He's got to Monaco, isn't he? Let me know what you think about Emile Smith Rowe. Let's move on. Okay, so we are not just looking at Smith Rowe. Chelsea are considering a bunch of targets in these final 4 days of the transfer window. Again, using Cy Phillips' website, he writes, Chelsea reportedly have 10 names on their transfer wish list this week as they look to sign at least one more attacker before the window closes on Friday. As far as we know, there is just one more attacker. It is one attacker. But knowing Chelsea, they just always offer surprise before deadline day. You know, historically, the present regime, past regime, it's just a Chelsea thing, as the saying goes. So I think there's a, you know, imagine if we somehow have nowhere sign Emile Smith Rowe for 25 million quid tomorrow. On deadline day, they might sign another attacker. It might be seen as crazy, but again, I'm so bored. Well, not bored. I'm so exhausted from worrying about this stuff that I am just now #trusting the process, deferring all to the experts of Chelsea, Pochettino, his coaching staff, Winstanley, Stewart. You boys look after it. I'm a football fan. I'm done, you know, losing my mind over this. Fix my club, and if it's done by buying this player and that player, and the gaffer wants him, you know, go for your life, mate. Rodney, do it. Chelsea have already signed a host of new players, just as they've done in recent transfer windows, but they are not done yet. The expected to be one of the busier terms of this window, not only with new arrivals, but also some departures as well, of course. Romano, in his latest Court Offside column this morning, as he mentions that Chelsea have 10 names on their shortlist. That is absolutely incredible. 10 names that we're looking at before the end of the window. With time running out, you'd imagine they need to drastically narrow down that list of names, making some serious approaches if they haven't done so already. I'd not be surprised at all to see a deal done out of nowhere, having been worked on behind the scenes. Yeah, like as in like a deal, a footballer, a name that we haven't even heard of yet. Well, certainly if there's 10 freaking names, brother and sisters, that is could be some real curveballs in there. Well, we know we got Emile Smith Rowe, Raphinha, and what was his name? That's Ferran Torres. So there's 3. So there's 7 more. Brennan Johnson's probably one of those, even though it's gone quiet, but it's probably just like, do you know what I mean? So who are these players? I don't think Bradley Barcola is probably one, but I suppose he could be. There could be some real curveballs in there, Premier League players. We know managers like Premier League proven players, so there could be some, I don't know. I know some Chelsea fans were talking about Jadon Sancho. I mean, there was talks earlier in the transfer window that Jadon Sancho could go on loan. He's not starting for Manchester United. Anthony starts over Jadon Sancho. I know, it's chicken oriental, but he cost him 100 million. He's his guy from Ajax. He wants to make it work. Sancho does look good since pre-season. And lest we forget, Sancho is a number 10 right winger kind of player. He fits the profile. Lest we forget, Jadon Sancho is a self-proclaimed Chelsea fan, much like Luke Shaw, by the way. Lest we forget, he idolised Lampard growing up. He nearly came to Chelsea. I think there were certainly moves. Who was it? Someone wanted, was it Marina Granovskaya? They didn't want him. Someone like vetoed the move, but he is a Chelsea fan. You could imagine, I don't know, give them Cucurella, give us Jadon Sancho. Let me know what you think about that, actually. Would you take Jadon Sancho on loan with an option to buy at Chelsea? Because I ruddy well would. All right, Lukaku. Matt Law tweets, Lukaku is due in Rome at 5 p.m. today, ahead of his medical official announcement with Roma expected on Wednesday. Tomorrow, so he's getting the medical today. A Roma source said, quote, the owners of AS Roma are committed to ensuring the deal with Lukaku is done. The club has improved year on year with the Friedkin family investment as they see him as a core part of their vision for the club to achieve the best result yet and finish top 4 in Serie A. The Friedkin family, who I'm assuming are the new owners, are highly engaged and committed to building AS Roma to achieve the glory the fans deserve of the club. Dan and Ryan's efforts, I guess they're part of the family, our investment are clearly seen in deals such as bringing world-class players, but they couldn't get them, so they had to sign Lukaku. No, I'm joking. Such as Lukaku is part of their vision. Fair play to the Friedkin family, whoever they are. They have made biblical levels of investment. I mean, signing Tammy Abraham for 40 million euros was like a big step. Was he their record signing? I mean, it's a lot of money. Getting Jose Mourinho in is testament to that. Of course, winning a European trophy. Bringing in Paulo Dybala. And not only that, getting him to commit his future past that first season where he had like a ridiculously low buyout clause had they not qualified for the Champions League. And by the way, they're in the Europa League final. They could have done it. A bit of a poor refereeing job from our boy, Anthony Taylor. They could have been in the Champions League, but he decided to stay with them. Big names, Mourinho, Dybala. And now, I know he's a bit of a pen 15, but Lukaku, he does represent a big name. He recently was sold for £100 million. He's won the Scudetto, he's won the MVP in that league, so he does represent a big purchase, you know? So that's kind of big. And also really interesting is this. Lukaku has a £37 million buyout clause been included into his contract. Now, I don't know how this works. How can you suddenly add something new to a contract? I mean, he must have signed something. They must have had some sort of Chelsea intermediary sit down with Lukaku and go, all right, mate, look, we want to make this work. You want to get out of here. We want to get you out of here. Sign this, and we're going to put a buyout clause into your contract. So you go on loan, and if someone wants to come and buy you, it's a way of doing it. I don't know how that works in terms of maybe they hope he does really well, and then someone just triggers it, or I don't know. There's clearly value in putting a buyout clause in rather than just negotiating with Roma or another buyer at the end of the season. I don't know what that benefit is, but there's clearly a benefit. But 37 million quid. To be honest, that's 3 years into his contract. When the book values, it goes down biblical levels. He'll probably have 40 million left on his books or something. It's probably not that far off the alleviation of the value on the books. It's in the same way Kai Havertz, who had 3 years left on his deal, he had 24 million pounds left in his books, and we paid 72 million pounds for him. So I'm not quite sure how that number was worked out, but I'm reliably informed that's the remaining value on his books. So Liam Twomey of The Athletic said that. So if he had 24 million from 72 just 2 years in, you know, Lukaku having a buyout of 37, maybe we can expect something similar in terms of not financially being so stitched up. So the fact that we sold Kai Havertz for 65, rising to 68 to Arsenal is like profoundly good business, man. So I guess this buyout clause is okay. Anyway, crazy stuff. Let me know what you think. Who do you think's on this 10-man shortlist, and who would you have? Who would you like to come to Chelsea? Comment down below. I look forward to reading your comments here. Thank you for liking and subscribing. I do welcome you to go check out Football Yannick, the other channel. You might dig it, man. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Peace.